right, folks, I hooked up with Chris tonight. He went fishing. Was it yesterday you went? Day before?
Thank God the kid got sick today so we could actually do this show, because if not, I'd be on the football field right now screaming at those coaches.
Oh, no. He's a guy, you know, with the bullhorn that runs up and down the line.
Let's go!
Why
Let's
did you
go!
do that? No, great stuff. But Chris went out fishing a couple of days ago, playing around the West Wall. Did some nice video. We're going to play the video. Actually, we'll do a quick break now and show you the video. And then we're going to come back and talk about the video. But you're going to see some nice reds. He was using, I saw the electric chicken you were using out there.
Yeah, we ended up having to go electric chicken
Getting on
because,
the jig.
well, just because of the situation. I think the electric chicken allows us to get back in. Very hot day. I mean, it's sweltering. I mean, look at the sweat here, folks.
It's terrible.
It's super hot. We were in the middle of the day. These fish were up against the bushes. You had to have a lure that you could throw back into the bushes. They weren't luring out, but the chicken, they would follow it all the way back to the boat. So
Sweet, really nice video. Matter of fact, we're going to go to the video now, so check it out, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the video a little bit. So check it out and enjoy it. Be right back.
there you go. Open up that bail. He's already off. Is this one running?
It was, but I think it might have.
Folks, this is a nice one. This is a nice red right here. Oh yeah. Let me get away from this land here a little bit. We just happened to come through here and seen them, and next thing you know, boom, here we go. He's just fighting away. He don't even. Ooh, yeah, folks, look at that. Oh, I'm good, Tara. I'll take care of him. You just stay back there out of the zone. Woo! Look at that. Get back in there to him. So he don't want to come in. Look at that, folks. What a gorgeous red. Look at that. Folks, this is a nice one. Look at this fish. You talk about a slob. Look at that thing, folks. That thing is beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, you like that? You guys can see what I'm catching it on. Ain't no secret here. He had that thing too. Chased me all the way to the boat to get that. Wow, yeah. Look at that, folks. Sweet. Coming at you. Coming at you. Coming at you. There you go. Nice red, man. Super nice red. Look at this, boys. Look at this. You're having a hard time seeing it, but it's a big old fish, folks. He thinks my boat is the shoreline. Woo! It's a nice one, folks. Look at that. Look at him spitting the crab up. Oh, folks. This is a big red. Look at that, folks. He's a nice one. Not yet. I'm just giving him some air time. this pretty, folks. Look at that nice red. I have a feeling this one's gonna be oversized. Look at that. What do you say to the camera there, folks? I shouldn't eat Mr. Taylor's lures. No, they're tasty. Well, you got that, did we put the stick away already? I don't want to go sticking my fingers in this guy's mouth because he might just crush my fingers. All right, here, let's take a look at him. Oh yeah, folks, see, we got us a 30-incher here. Nice red though, huh? Look at that, folks. That is a pretty red. West wall. Just beautifully gorgeous. Look at that. Maybe, whoa, I say see you later, alligator.
We're back. How you doing?
I told you it wouldn't take long at all. A great video, and electric chicken underneath the mangroves, huh? I mean,
Yes,
you're up there tight. I watched you
I
casting.
tell you what, we went through some of our ProCure scents, and I finally figured out that it's blue crab, guys. I mean, if you really want to get these fish to come out and lock in on your bait, get that ProCure scent, blue crab, bang, you're set. I mean, and these fish were not all banged up, and there was not 100 fish here together, but when you did find that you seen the big schools of mullet, and the mullet were around, then that's when we got into some of the bigger fish, most definitely.
I heard him say that in the video, that he saw them all school and actually sighted out the redfish, which is very cool out there. And you don't have a sight platform, and you're on a John boat, so you're water level, and you can see them in there.
Probably maybe 6 foot above the water if I'm lucky.
Is that right?
If I'm
So
lucky,
it's best-
standing up on the top deck, you know, I got about 20 inches off the water, plus
Your
my
height.
huge height.
So that was sweet. I mean, really nice. And just to clear things up, these aren't turtle eggs down here. These are golf balls. We're on
That's right.
Coach Chris's chipping range here, where he practices
Right.
all the.
This is where I practice my beautiful swing and keep my even par round sweetly oiled.
We better get back to fishing.
That's right. And listen, Coach Chris was on the golf course today, hit one over. Thank you, folks.
Oh, sweet. Where'd you play?
Port Charlotte, where my boys are at every day.
Port Charlotte Country. Beautiful club. How is it right now? It's been raining. It's fast still? Fast
Gorgeous.
raining?
No, it's really gorgeous.
Good.
Sort of dried up this week. We need some rain.
Sweet. Well, I tell you what, I didn't want to forget West Wall. You were at Center West Wall toward the Myakka, that area.
Yeah, we were probably about middle of the west wall, right around that area, because I didn't want to waste that much gas. It was hot. I probably could have ran on down to Cape Hayes Point and down to Pirate Harbor. I'm hearing the best, the reports right now is from Pirate Harbor all the way down to Matlacha. They are just killing it right now on fish. I mean, even a rookie can go down there and hook up on those big schools of fish right now. So
That area is beautiful. There's a lot of grassy flats around there. The mangroves have, little keys in them, just like north of Pirate Harbor. Have some small islands and keys in there. So there's a lot of big fish.
but really the fish, they're out near the bar right now.
Yeah.
The fish are going to be real close. When we call the bar, not the bar where you get your drinks at, okay, folks? I'm talking about the sandbar where it's about that deep. The top of the sandbar is where the bar sort of protects the back, the estuaries, basically. The bar keeps the big water from coming onto the back. It also keeps the predator fish. Naturally, it's a barrier to keep the predator fish away from our baby fish so they can stay alive.
Every time, as a matter of fact, when Hurricane Charlie came through, and usually, and that's like you say, the protective barrier, when all the sand rushes in with the big storms, generally it builds up outside of Pirate Harbor, down to Matlacha, and all the way up around Alligator Creek.
It's just a natural flow.
It's just how nature works. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it was about 2 years ago they had to dredge that channel coming out of Pirate Harbor after Charlie a few years after.
You know what? That channel is so shallow now.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when I was a kid, right there by the ice house was a great big deep channel.
Oh, yep.
Now you're lucky. Now you're lucky if it's knee high right there because the sand has blown in there. People have You know, the channel's been blown out so bad. It's a flat.
Well, as a kid, we actually went spearfishing at the ice house there, and at the time, that was actually the deep end where you could almost you could stand up. Now that was the deep end. It was probably about 8 foot or so, and really deep channel. We had sailboats coming in and out there without a problem. But yeah, that storm washed a lot of sediment and grit.
A lot of stuff's back in there, but that's an ebb and flow of the tides.
Well, you know, with the storm, with the freezes and everything else, I think this year's been probably the best for our fishery here. I mean, really for the estuaries, for the redfish population, the snook. Have you seen it better? I mean, honestly.
I'm telling you what, guys, the closure of the snook season, if it didn't help our snook, I mean, we whined and we whined and we whined about not getting to go fishing. But when it really comes down to it, I'm seeing the population of snook has probably tripled since they did that. I mean, it is just one after another. I told Frank, I said, I feel sort of bad for not putting all the snook I caught on film because they were all juvies. They were all undersized. And
he got like 20 snook, and all he did was record the nice redfish. And
yeah.
I'm like, man, I want the snook too. Give me the snook.
I mean, the snook, the snook are very, very active. I mean, if you guys go out there, you're going to catch probably 10 snook just to try to weed through the snook to try to get a good red.
Well, I'll tell you, it's when we were fishing, when I went fishing with Bill Daniels, he wasn't getting up close to the mangroves and trolling. He was trolling, you know,
Right
off of the
middle.
mangroves a little bit. So he was in deeper water, and that was a big snook. Now, when you took me to the Myakka Cutoff, and every time we got up under the mangroves, like he was going for reds up under the mangroves, we ended up with these juvie snook. But as soon as you moved us out about 20 yards off the shoreline,
Exactly what I say, guys.
gigantic snook start hitting. As a matter of fact, you got that huge one right there,
Yeah.
about 20 yards off the
Exactly.
Myakka
I
Cutoff.
tell everybody,
So
if you
they're
want to
deeper.
catch the smaller fish usually are in the snook region. The smaller juvies are up by the playpen, I call it, by the mangroves. They play around the mangroves. The bigger snooks sit out there and watch them.
Mm-hmm.
They sit out there in the deep water and sit there and watch their babies go back and forth. So,
Yeah, it's we're gonna go. I think it's Friday. I'm not sure if the tide is coming in when we're going out. We're heading out with Scotty Friday morning.
well, you got an incoming.
We're probably going out to El Jabin there. Were
You got
you
an
going?
incoming. Probably.
Incoming Friday
I'm
morning?
sure it's going to be an incoming the whole way.
From what I saw, it looks like one of those flat days that it's really not a
Yeah.
whole. And I hate that because
It's
you really
what happened
need.
to us
yeah.
too. I mean, listen, guys, we only had a 0.6 tide movement.
When you hit all those reds.
Yeah, only a
Oh, well,
0.6. That's what I'm
hey.
trying to say. It was a tough day. I mean, we had to work at it to get the fish that I wanted. I mean, I really had to. I had to put a lot of cast in. I put some effort in, and you know, it wasn't out there just. But in the same sense, like I said, a bunch of snook. I mean, wham, 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 one after another. And shark, I don't know if Frankie put that in the video. The shark busted me off.
Yeah, he grabbed the canyon and ran.
Yeah, he grabbed the canyon, and before I knew it, I could try to get Terry to turn the boat around, and bang!
Well, we're saying Canyon for a couple of weeks. We've had Canyon reels that were sent to us from Canyon, and Chris has been looking to get a really big shark to really give this reel a workout out there, and a couple of them broke. I mean, the reel's great. I mean,
The reel's hanging on fine.
But
I mean,
the line, the leader.
I gotta get bigger. I guess I got. And hey, listen, I had steel leader on this time, so I was prepared with the leader, but the 10-pound test line I was running on, it just won't hang on.
Gone. Yep. But
The
it's nice
shark-
to have it.
The shark was only as big around as a 5-gallon bucket, about like that. So you know, I mean, it's just
It's a small one for the cutoff
You
in the
know.
west wall.
just a little 5-gallon bucket here, folks.
Looks like the mouth of the bass Bill
Yeah.
caught today. It's a bucket, man.
Oh,
He's a-
really?
Yeah,
He
he got
got it.
about a 6-7 pound bass. Pretty.
Oh, nice. Good job. I'm really disappointed. My boy was sick today, and I didn't get to go spend the day with Mr. Daniels.
Oh, yep. I'll tell you what, anytime you miss a day fishing with Bill, you're missing a day.
Well, I was looking to go get schooled. I'm telling you what, folks, that man, he's got some knowledge that I need to know about.
Well, he went up with the trout deceiver too, the one with the hooks on it.
Did he?
And I think he used, I got to look at the video again, he posted it online. I think he used either the 202 or that one that you used, the darter, but only in a green color. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
the
what
green
number that
darter.
is.
No,
And,
the green is the O2.
Is that it, the O2?
Green is
And
O2.
beautiful bass, couple of nice. And these are the same lures that Chris is catching big reds and huge snook out here on.
I'm telling you
So
what,
it's-
folks, guys. I mean, we've been showing nothing but saltwater video with these lures, but unreal. These lures are going to tear freshwater fishing a new one. I've sent some of these lures up to Canada for my buddy to go up there and try them out on some muskie and pike and some walleye and some different species of fish up there. And he's already called me and said, game on. It's explosive.
I've done some serious research, and it's been kind of back here, you know, in the back of your head when you see something doesn't quite look right, and you're like, something's wrong here. And I've been looking at bass lures, bass baits, because I bass lures, you know, I get a worm, I get something that, you know, some kind of plug and play with it and catch bass. Now, for some reason down here, when I look at bass baits, especially lures, all of them are the size of my thumb. And some of them are fat, some are skinny, and some are thin, and some are flat. But all of them are no bigger than maybe 4 inches.
It's all about numbers,
big.
Frank.
Now,
they want you to catch numbers.
This is the truth now. Let me tell you, this is the truth. The truth of the matter is in order to sell bass baits to the average person going to Walmart to buy a bass bait, the manufacturer has to make it out of plastic, because they're shipping it from China, or they're having it manufactured in China, then shipped in the USA or some stupidity like that on it. And with that plastic lure, they could get it here affordably and sell it to the consumer and supersede that whole ideology of it working. Now, Bill does wood baits, and a couple of guys do. We got Impact Lures online, we got Daniel's Deceivers online, we got Banks Lures online. These guys do wood baits, and now these wood baits, they make nice size, big. I mean, that glass minnow that you used over here is what, about 6-7 inches? That's a big one.
They love that thing.
He caught the biggest bass I've seen come out of this lake this big. I mean, a wood lure this big.
Now, guys, now listen. Now this is no joke. Now, me and Frankie put that bass up on film. No, in the middle of the day, shouldn't have caught that bass. Blah blah blah.
I'm gonna show it.
I went back over.
There it
3
is.
days ago.
See that? Look at that bass. Nice bass. Woo! God damn, son. Great timing. Damn. Look at that bass.
Look at this.
Holy jeez, that's a monster. Holy shit. Look at the size of that thing. How did you do this? How do you do this? God damn. Look at that bass. Look at it.
Is that crazy?
Damn, son.
Is that crazy?
There it is, folks. That's a big bass.
That's about 10 pounds.
There it is, boys. That's a good, what is it? You think that's a 10-pounder?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Daniel's Deceiver. Dog.
God. That is so crazy.
Sweet.
That is so crazy, Frank.
Look at
that. Big bass. Oh, man.
Wow.
Come on, baby.
Look at the mouth on that.
Oh, my gosh. You want big fish, folks? You got to throw a big lure. And I'm going to tell you what. I don't think there's one lure that'll beat a Daniel's Deceivers right now. And today, I am so sold on this lure.
Oh, you just sold me.
I am so sold on this lure. If you want to talk about big fish in Florida, folks, this is just over home in a little tiny canal.
Yeah, go ahead and stand up. Let me get a picture of you with that. There it is. Chris Taylor, Daniel's Deceivers.
Just bored, took my glass minnow back over and was throwing it down the canal. And I'm telling you what, if that same bass didn't come back out of nowhere, run down that canal and explode on that thing, it was unreal. And the guy that was with me over there, he just could not believe it. He said that's the biggest bass he'd ever seen in his life.
And these are, like I said, these are big lures. These are big wooden heavy lures, and you go to
lures
Walmart.
Catch what?
Big fish.
Big fish.
Go to Walmart and go to the fresh or the freshwater section of lures and take a look at all of them.
Don't see.
I mean, you
They're
might see
all
4-inch, and they're
No,
not
4-inch and under.
and
That's
under.
it.
And it's not because that's what bass hit. It's because that's how they could affordably ship it from China and get it on a boat and get a whole bunch of them in a box really cheap that weigh almost nothing out of plastic and sell you a tiny bait.
They don't even put the hooks on them from China. They send them over and they hook them.
They hook them here, and then they put, USA on there. But if you read it, it says assembled in USA, not made or built or designed.
No.
So so definitely check out the big heavy wood lures in fresh water. Yeah, it's a little pond. Yeah, it's not a big area. Yeah, there's a big bass laying down there that'll hit a big lure.
Let's get real, folks. We got to start supporting USA and stop sending our money over there so China can make another gun.
No, it's true, and we're seeing that. Let me tell you something. In Florida, we're getting contacted by a lot of bait manufacturers in the state of Florida now, and I knew we had quite a few here. I had no idea we had so many that are doing well now. And you can see a shift if you go to your local Wally World and check out the baits that they're selling. They're very quickly shifting from plastic baits that were lures to soft baits.
All
And
soft.
They're doing away with all the wood.
It's easy
completely.
to pack it. It's easy to pack
cheap,
it all in. It's low cost, low maintenance, low everything.
and they're shipping it from China cheap. Now, if you go online, you could buy locally made plastic bait. You got razor baits. You got Banks lures. There's a lot of MrWiffle.com.
Definitely
There's a lot of good here. Local manufacturers in the United States are making great soft baits, razor baits that
I think that
crawdad.
old lure that I grew up with fishing with was an old Producto lure. I'm pretty sure that
Producto,
was made around here.
That's actually, I think he's in Jacksonville. That's
I'm
one of
telling you.
Scotty's sponsors, Scott Larson. yeah.
Producto. Guys, I caught my biggest bass ever on a Producto.
On a
lure.
Producto?
Back when I was a kid, I remember my dad looking at me and going, "What are you gonna do with that big worm?" And I said, "I'm gonna throw it." I walked over there and I caught the biggest bass I ever seen in my life.
Well, I haven't seen the Producto yet. I've never seen one of their worms, but I know Razor's doing that big fat thing. But Scott Larson also has, I think it's 12 Fathom they're called, and they also make a new line that's part of Producto, I believe. And they're doing some soft baits too.
You know what? I'll tell you what, guys. You can't go wrong with using a big bait. If you're looking for big fish, if you're just going out there looking to put numbers in the boat and you don't mind catching a bunch of little dinks like that, go ahead and put your small little baits on and stuff like that. And you're going to keep getting, the little fish are going to attack it like crazy.
He has them.
If you want to, you can take and hold those fish up for 2 seconds. But when you hold up an 8-pound, 9-pound bass or a 30-inch snook,
You know what you did?
then you're like, you get that smile, perma-grin.
Chris has the little lures, but he uses them to catch bait.
Yeah.
So he'll go, let's go catch some bait, get some nice lady fish. And
Exactly. As soon as we catch the small fish, I usually cut their tail and away they go.
and they go on the canyon reel for a shark run. Well, last time we were out there with me, it started raining, got a big, gigantic snook, kind of spit the trout. Or that was that sugar trout.
Yeah, sugar
Choo,
trouts.
spit it out.
And and Tara out there ended up catching a what do you call it, a whiting. And that's what I've used a couple times out there. Whiting sort of looks like a red, but it's not a game fish. It's something, and they're pretty plentiful in the area we fish. So, but boy, oh boy, that shark did take 2 seconds to come up there and just get all over that
I
thing.
love that. Yeah, even the sand brim. If you could find sand brim,
Oh, they love
talk about bait, snook.
Sand brim, love it. I mean, snook love a sand brim.
If you can find sand brim, you're going to catch some big snook on them out there. So you're doing good. You're up on the middle side of the west wall. You're heading toward the Mayaca. Big reds up under there. You're on a flat high tide, huh?
I didn't see a lot of big snook. I mean, we definitely spotted a lot of real quality reds, and they seem to always be with the packs of mullet. I mean, the mullet would be right there, and the mullet are big, huge mullet. And then all of a sudden you see the reds coming right through the pack with them. And you know the reds. You see that look, that copper,
Yep.
that really bang copper look,
Yep.
and all of a sudden you're looking through the school and it's all black, and all of a sudden,
Get that
out
shine
comes
of
that
copper.
shiny copper. It looks like a new penny coming swimming right out of the pack.
And they're beautiful. I don't know what it is about this time of year, but the reds are so deep, copper color.
It's the tannic water, guys. They just match up with it so pretty. Hey,
So he's throwing electric chicken, big reds, playing any top water.
you know what? As we started off, we always start off with our Daniels. I mean, let's get ready. It's like saying grace before you eat, folks. You must bow your head. Listen, you got to start off with your Daniels, get your day started. And I did have some quality, blow-ups on my Daniels. Couldn't get them to connect. They were just being real cranky and blowing my lure out of the water.
Yep.
But we're doing the follow-up with the chicken jig, and next thing you know, I just kept the chicken jig in my hand and started finishing the day up, is what it really amounted to. But I was also using, I have a big 6-inch swim bait that I use that is a bait from Gambler. Now, Gambler is a good company. I would really like to see Gambler
That's
come
those
on.
big shads you have.
Yeah, they're
those are
called
nice,
they're called the Easy, Big Easies and 49ers and stuff like this. And I was using that as a swim bait to try to attract, to try to get the fish to chase it down, and then I'd have my buddy throw in the electric chicken right in behind it,
Yep,
and boom, and it works. I'm telling you what, the team like that works every time. If you can get the guy to notice where your strikes are happening and get within the vicinity, don't hit them on their head, but get close.
Whole thought behind the trout deceiver.
Exactly.
Top popper, little leading jig
That's what I
behind
had
it.
on in the morning. I went with the trout deceiver in the morning with the jig underneath of it, and and I was getting a lot of quality blow-ups, and they weren't coming back down for my jig at the bottom. They were just strictly messing with the top.
Yep.
And you know, with it not having the hooks in it, they were blowing it up and they were messing with it. And then I would think they would come back for that jig, but you know, every now and then, you just don't get them to come back for the bottom. You know, your bottom.
Yep.
But if you had a shrimp on the bottom of that, and you threw it up in there and pop, and let it set there, you're definitely going to get those fish. They're going to come to it.
You know, and there's always a method to any madness. I mean, if you think about it, generally when it comes to hitting bait like that, the bigger redfish kind of sit and hang low and let the juvies go up there and tear something up, and then they come after.
Big redfish were going crazy.
No, not this time.
No, the big reds
Big
were
ones.
running up on it, and wham! But they couldn't.
Sounds good.
They couldn't. You know, the big reds are so crazy. I mean, you'll see in the video, I had one talking to me when I brought it up on the boat. You know, I mean, he was
grunting, huh?
he was telling me how tasty my lure was.
He found out the hard way.
He did. He realized when he swam over to the boat and grabbed the lure that, and a lot of the fish that we got in these videos, you guys probably can't see it, but they would come all the way out to the boat and hit right at the boat. They were following it. They weren't that hungry, but they were following that bait because that crab. I'm pretty sure that crab smell. You know, they were like, wow, that thing looks good, but I'm not hungry, but man, it smells good. I gotta eat it, you know?
Yeah, it was, you know, it looked like a beautiful day out there. Really some great fish. And so, folks, here you got it, the West Wall. I know you fished the opening of the creeks coming out there, you know, just run along there.
Always love creeks, guys. I mean, I can't get over and say it enough. Creeks, salt water, those two things put the time together are going to mean reds. And we had an incoming tide, my favorite fish fishing reds, incoming tide, high tide.
Beautiful. Now, just a week ago Sunday, I was across the other side of Charlotte Harbor. I was out there with Bill Daniels. He took me out trolling on the Supermoon.
I love it.
And oh man, we were playing around a little bit. You know, Bill's just waiting for the sun to go down, and a couple hours after the sun dropped, he's just pulling one of the Daniels or the Daniels 803,
Yep.
the red and white. He's trolling that now. He said he lets it run pretty far back.
Well,
he
the
said
farther
you don't want
back-
to spook the snook, so
Exactly.
he sets it way back. And so, you know, we're coming right past, you know, where the boat ramp is. We get a little bit past there a little ways, and man, well, you'll see a part of the video while we're talking here. Pulled in a huge snook, about a 40-inch snook, 35-pound. I was just beside myself. I didn't know what the hell to do. I didn't even help. I was.
You know what, Frank? You
It
know,
was
one
beautiful.
thing we haven't really discussed is, you know, somebody's going to say, "Oh man, I've caught a 40-inch snook before, and it's never been that much." But what you guys don't understand, there's like 7 species of snook.
Oh yeah.
You might be thinking
Fat
about
snook,
the common snook, okay?
Skinny
But
snook.
you know, this
yeah.
could have been a tarpon snook.
Yeah.
This could have been a fat snook.
The fat snook, they get
Okay.
on the other coast a lot. Those
Now-
are big ones.
If that truly was a fat snook, we're talking a world record here, folks. Okay? But because we can't keep these things anymore, and we can't really record anymore because of our slot, which I do believe the FWC has got it all screwed up. I think that they're having us eat our breeders. I really believe that number they've got right now from 28 to 33
Yeah.
is one of our most proficient breeders we got out there. We need to bring that number down for the eaters that we're bringing home. Let's go down, 26 and under for some eaters.
They're probably
And-
better eating anyway. When you
Yeah,
get over 30
and-
inches, and you're gonna start getting
You know,
fishy fish. So.
But and then they keep saying that these humongous, big, huge ones are your breeders. Back in the day when these guys could take and fillet these things, they weren't getting roe in these things. They've never. I've talked to a lot of people who fillet them up. They don't get roe out of those monster snook like that.
It's true, but not only that, but the big monsters generally stress out the worst when there's anything that happens, whether it's a freeze, whether it's red tide, bacteria, heat, and they die first. So it's the younger ones that generally can survive some at least the percentage of them will to propagate the species. But the FWC, they're going to change it constantly based on opinion.
the guide's
based on-
opinions.
That's about it. I mean, even when they do some of their sampling, I mean, it's kind of half. They'll tell you,
Johnny Football boys, you know what it's all about.
Who's
It's all
running-
about the money. It's all about the dollars.
who's running the state of Florida.
That's right.
But now, yeah, like I said, you're gonna have those regulations. Honestly, in my opinion, it's gotten to the point within fishing society itself that so many people release snook, release reds. that is becoming almost a non-issue. You know, you're really taking your life in your hands, posting a picture that you're filleting and putting it on Facebook. Because only God knows how many people are going to come at you. Why are you eating that fish? So,
why
you know,
are you eating fish? I don't know, because I'm skinny? Oh,
I'm hungry.
I guess that's probably why. Hungry and skinny.
You know, I've always said that's just crazy. But again, you know, so you're always going to have that. So I think today more people are a little more fish conscious. I think so many people rely on the estuary to make a living now. Charter captains, guides, the guys making the baits, the guys making the lures, the guys selling bait. I mean, everybody in Florida relies on that fish
Look at Florida's
population.
industry. I mean, our biggest thing about, you know, you think with all these beaches that we have, it would be all about the beaches. But Florida, it's all about the fishing.
Well, you know, the beaches make money, but the truth of the matter is the people at the beaches are chartering a boat and going out anyway. So, you know, that's you're right. I mean, it's all about fishing. It's about, and that's
Florida's fishing, because we got fishing on this coast, we got fishing on the other coast, we got fishing all the way down the middle. We got a string of lakes that go from the top of Florida right on down. I mean, it's just one great big aquifer coming all the way down until you get to the glades.
Yeah, and it's beautiful fishing. Matter of fact, we've got Bryce coming on. Bryce, I'm sorry, I've been so busy, bud. He's over in Moorhaven. And he actually commutes to the other coast, so he does a lot of fishing over around, you know, the Space Coast and down around Boynton, all that area. But he also fishes Moorhaven, some of Okeechobee and that. Yep. He's a pro staffer for Logic Lure, and I believe Mr. Whiffle. And so he's going to do a couple of interviews. We're going to talk about their lures here probably next week. And so sorry about that, bud. I'll definitely give you a call and we'll get that scheduled and get it done. Really cool product. They've got a swim bait, that's Ascended swim bait that looks really cool. They've got like a jig head that they have really unique. It has a hinge inside of it. It's a tungsten metal. And he says what they're doing is they're starting to get into like a porcelain base scissor and knife and stuff like that that doesn't rust, stays sharp. Really cool stuff. So we're going to be talking to, you know, Bryson about all that stuff.
Us fishermen, we need stuff. That's how it goes.
Everybody
Women
needs
need
better
shoes,
stuff.
Fishermen need more stuff.
I got a pair of pointy nose pliers. I got a tackle box at the side of it starting to bend up because there's so much crap in there I can't close it. I just Sanford and Son. Hey, same room, same bed, same underwear. That's just how it goes. But hey, did I catch fish last time we went out?
That is the truth.
It's it.
Folks, when you get put on the fish, you got to do nothing but catch the fish, okay?
I seen guys go out with the Zepcos, out there catching nice bass, throwing old beetle spins with Zepcos and catching beautiful bass. Money's not a reason.
How you hold your mouth, folks.
Hey, you're deacon in the church. Jesus didn't say go out and get a job so that you can get some money and buy a boat and then buy some nice lures and then buy.
No,
he didn't, did he?
No, Jesus said, I feed the birds. Why wouldn't I take care of you?
So all you got to do is make the effort. Get out there and turn off the TV.
Little faith. Ye of little faith. I feed the birds. They don't keep no money in the bank. I feed them every day.
As soon as I said deacon, he started old time, and I knew I should.
You brought it out. Bring out the Bible verses. That's it.
We're gonna head to Pirate Harbor now. I'm thinking about bringing Scotty out there. I'm thinking about doing the. Scotty's coming Friday morning. We got a box of spoons from Aqua Dream Living. Mike over at Aqua Dream Spoons. And so we're going to go toss them around Pirate Harbor. I know, Chris, you're going, right?
Oh, yeah, I think I will be.
We need the lucky man there.
I will be. Well, you got to have somebody that's got the sense of direction,
baby.
Oh,
no. Good.
Well, actually, this is Frankie's land now. When we go down to Pirate Harbor, it's where he grew up.
That's where
But we can only go out to our knees because he didn't have a boat back then.
We did some wading or swimming, one or both.
I tell you what, I fished more at Pirate Harbor growing up in saltwater than I think I fished anywhere. And we always waded down there.
I'm going to tell you folks something. It was sad. I went out to Pirate Harbor, and I'm not knocking Pirate Harbor at all right now. Beautiful place still. But I drove out there about a month ago. I was doing some virtual tours out at Burnstore Marina. And I thought I got to see my old house on there, my old fishing grounds.
Never really grew up out there, did it?
Well, there it did. Unfortunately, I went out there, and the whole end of Jean Lafayette is all houses now.
Oh no, it's all big houses. It's all big houses.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was like, oh god, this is just awful. I could see from one canal to the other. Before it was just mangroves and oyster bars everywhere.
Money buys houses, and houses buy.
It was sad, but Smoky Joe still looks good heading in. You know that little canal system.
You know,
but
that's
we're gonna go into Bird Key. So I think Bird Key up to Alligator Creek, that whole area in there with the 1,000. What do you think, that or the West Wall? What do you think?
Well, you know what? I'd like to take, since Scotty's got a little bit nicer, he's got a Ranger boat.
He's
there.
got a nice Ranger.
Well, we'll take him down there to the schools. There's some nice schools, like I'm telling you guys in the beginning of this video, from Pirate Harbor all the way down to Matlacha this time of year. There's a bar that runs down through there. And there's about 3 nice schools of red that always hang out down that end of the town this time of year. The guides are always on it. You get down there, the guides will have them pushed together, and they'll be casting into these things. And we're talking reds that are like the big one you're going to see in the video, and bigger.
Well, that's blue water. Ponderosa washes through there. You
Very
get that
gorgeous. But
nice blue
anytime
water.
this time of year, our water's pretty tannicky, all the way out to the Boca Grande. It's pretty tannicky.
There's a lot flowing out
Yeah,
right now.
until you get out right to the edge of Boca Grande, right where the green water meets, there's almost like a line in the sand.
You know, we got about maybe another month, and then the Army Corps of Engineers is going to start releasing water in the Caloosahatchee, so you can kiss Ponderosa goodbye. I mean,
You know what?
that whole area is going to...
A lot of those guys are bitching about that water releases coming out of Caloosahatchee, and it's blah blah blah. But let me tell you what, that water's been coming out of there forever.
Yeah, 50
years.
years.
It's been coming out of there forever. It was designed to
years.
come all the way down the center of the state and then turn and come out the Caloosahatchee or go down through the bottom of the state into the Everglades. It's why we are an estuary. All that fresh water coming out brings all that sediment out. All that sediment is for all the little things that come up that the fish eat, and the fish grow on. It's just part of the chain.
Well, Governor Scott did a good thing. I'll give him credit for this, even though I knock him all the time. He did sign into legislation that the law that is going to open up the area of I-75 that runs across the Everglades next to Alligator Alley, and they're actually going to lift it up and make it a bridge about 2 or 3 miles long, so that constant sheet flow can, instead of flowing out through the Caloosahatchee, they're going to let it flow out the bottom of the sugarcane fields. So it's going to actually redirect.
I mean, the sugarcane owns Florida, so let's get real, guys.
But the problem is that right now, and I did talk to Bryson, and he's over there on Okeechobee, and he says that what they're doing now is really screwing up Okeechobee. They got sandbars where there used to be deep water.
Oh no, it really is. I mean, they have not handled Okeechobee very well for a while. I mean, it's got a dam, what they call a dike, that's around this thing.
It's huge.
They have very little resources when it comes to putting the money back into it. We've all experienced what happens when you don't put your resources back into a big body of water like that. When Katrina came around, okay? Katrina's coming around. We got a 10-year anniversary next year, okay? They didn't put that money into the Katrina. Katrina hit up there and New Orleans, and that body of water right in New Orleans busted because they didn't have their dikes
Reinforced
and ready to go. Now, the same thing could happen with Okeechobee. That water rises up and then boom. But the only problem with Okeechobee is not New Orleans. Everything around it's just cow pastures.
Yeah.
So it's just going to go out into the cow pastures,
Well,
it's just going to flood like Florida has done 7 times.
It's not just that, it's going to wash Clewiston right into Fort Myers.
Clewiston, where's that?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and Bryson was saying that they actually opened up the Kissimmee River because they wanted to make a shipping port going from Okeechobee up to
Gotcha.
Orlando. And he says they really screwed it up there when they did straighten out the river and messed it up. But anyway, we didn't want to go off on all that.
Let's don't tangent. Let's talk about fishing.
Scotty's coming down, like I said, Friday. So maybe we're going to go around, like I said, Pirate Harbor and that area, see if we can get into some reds. And
We got some new new spoons. The Aqua Dream company has sent us.
Yep, those
And
are the pinfish.
we're going to try those out and see what we can put on film for those things.
I think they're going to work nice. I like the action. We were playing with it back here, and it's got a nice.
I caught a nice bass on it right off the bat with it. So I mean,
was that the pinfish or the white?
the pinfish?
Vengeance?
The pinfish. I mean, I didn't. I just the first one I picked up would happen to be the pinfish. So they look pretty active. So I think it's going to work.
Looks nice. They got a nice shine to them, and they have a nice flutter too. As you kind of, when you like anything, you kind of get your own system of working a lure, and it has that nice kind of flip and flutter when you let it fall back and pull it up. So we'll see what happens Friday. I think it'll be a nice day for it. So, folks, we sure appreciate it. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to definitely be out there with a couple of cameras on Friday. I've got a great show coming up with Mark Karasek from the Space Coast of Florida. Mark, sorry about that too. I've been so stinking busy. I'm telling you, unreal. So I haven't really done anything with him on the show here for probably a couple of weeks. But yeah, we're gonna get that
I thought
on.
maybe he was on vacation.
Oh, he got first place in a tournament over there.
Good
And
job,
oh,
Mark.
Mark's a fisherman. I mean, he's big, huge. Well, this is the Space Coast. They got reds the size of canoes over there. I think they call them buses. They don't even call them reds
Listen, to
anymore.
win tournaments, it ain't about catching the buses. It's about catching the right buses.
No, not only that, but it's knowing where to catch the right
Yeah.
buses. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But
'cause
Mark's good.
everybody can catch a bus, but and redfish tournaments, they got to be just this long.
Yeah.
So everybody catches one that's just that long, but then you got to figure out where they're at, because if you figure out where that redfish is eating crab and a lot of crustaceans, it's a fatter red. It's heavier. Okay. If that red is feeding on minnows and shiners and things of that nature, it's having to dart around a lot to feed itself. It's burning a lot of calories. It's not as fat,
Yep.
so they don't weigh as much. So it's knowing where they eat them crustaceans and where they sit on them oyster bars and where they just sit there and where they can just sit and chew, baby.
It's like us at a smorgasbord, all you can eat. Like everybody get out of the way.
That's why they call them cows, man. They lay out in the grass fields and they eat like cows.
So yep, we're gonna have a great show with Mark, and check out all of our sponsors: CanyonReels.com, BankSlords.com, DanielsDeceivers.com, AquaDreamLiving.com, ImpactLures.com. Well, I'm gonna forget somebody. God, I wish I didn't forget them.
We love you guys all.
Right.
What about the razor baits?
Razorbaits.com.
Yeah.
See, I told you, MrWiffle.com. I'm gonna forget somebody, I guarantee.
Don't
Harriet.
Hold on.
Scales and Whitetails.
Let's not forget. I think the brewery's open now. Isn't
Oh,
it?
Fat Point Brewery.
Fat Point Brewery,
Canyon
folks.
Reels and Fat Point Brewery.
Meet us at Fat Point Brewery. We'll tell you a fishing story. I promise.
We've been invited there for like 2 weeks now. He's been busy. I've been busy. We keep going. You know what? We got to grab
It's
the
so
camera.
hot. We just got to go there.
It is hot. We'll go fishing and we'll just go there for a beer one
I'm not
day.
talking about fishing. I just want to go to Fat Point Brewery.
Yeah, it should be cool. I think they got the showcase where the showroom open and all that stuff now, so they should be ready to go.
Time
They had
for
a
some
little thing.
football too.
It's time for football, so we'll definitely be there checking out a game, drinking a beer.
All right, guys.
We catch you guys later. Thanks for joining us,
Go
and
fishing.
we'll see you this weekend. Head out there. See ya.